Hello, this is Joe Pearson, Planning and Environmental Services Manager with the City of Oxnard, and this is a request for a Planning Commission stipend. The Oxnard Planning Commission consists of 7 members who serve at the pleasure of the City Council and may be removed and replaced at the Council's discretion. Pursuant to Oxnard City Code, the members of the Commission do not receive compensation for their time preparing for or attending Commission meetings, which is consistent with other City of Oxnard citizen advisory groups. As with other citizen advisory groups or CAGs within the city, the Oxnard City Code outlines outlines that the City Council shall provide the funds and equipment necessary for the work of the Commission. However, the role of the Commission differs from many of the other CAGs in the city, in that the Commission's role and responsibilities are defined under state law. Any changes to the compensation of the Commission would be at the sole discretion of City Council. Generally, the Commission's role is to make sound land use decisions supporting the mission statement. The mission of Oxnard's Planning Division is to create, preserve, and enhance the quality of the city's natural and built environments through implementation of the general plan zoning ordinance, adopt a specific plan, local coastal plan, and coastal zoning ordinance. More specifically, pursuant to Section 2-95 of the Oxnard City Code, the Commission has 3 core functions. The functions and duties assigned to the Commission by the Code and other ordinances and resolutions of the City Council, the functions set out in California Government Code, and the duties imposed on a Commission by the California Health and Safety Code. Under state law, the primary applicable code section is Government Code Section 65103, which outlines that each planning agency, or for Oxnard, the Planning Commission, shall perform specific functions. In the city, the Commission is the decision maker, appeal body, or recommending body on approximately 22 types of permits within the city. In addition to these permits, the Planning Commission, pursuant to Government Code Section 65402, is responsible for making a finding of general plan conformity for any acquisitions, dispositions, vacations, or abandonment of any real city property by the city or other local agency within city jurisdiction. The Commission currently holds their meetings on the first and third Thursdays of each month at 6 p.m. in the Council chambers. However, while rare, special meetings can be convened as needed. While there is a potential for up to 24 meetings each year, 1 or 2 meetings are often removed from the calendar due to conflicts with holidays. Meetings are held on a as-needed basis, so meetings are canceled when there are no items that are ready for Commission's review, or if the Commission fails to achieve a quorum of 4 members. Based on data from 2023 and 2024, there were a total of 16 meetings in 2023 and 14 meetings in 2024. Over that time period, there was an approximately 80% attendance rate by the commissioners. The average meeting lasted 1 hour and 20 minutes in 2023 and 1 hour and 41 minutes in 2024. However, it is important to note that due to the variation in the items that come before the Commission, the time of meetings vary from approximately 30 minutes to 6 hours or more. The same variation can be found in the length of the packets, which can also range from 125 pages to over 3,000 pages, especially when including environmental documents. At the request of the Commission on August 15, 2024, City staff placed on the Commission agenda a study session and report item discussing the proposal of stipends for members of the Commission. At the meeting, Ronald Arejo, chair of the Commission, prepared and submitted a memo highlighting the role of the Commission, a rate comparison looking at Oxnard compared to other cities, and the benefits of providing a stipend to the Commission. The chair prepared a resolution in support of providing a stipend to the Commission for approval by the full Commission. After a presentation by the chair, the commission discussed the proposal, noting that generally that they were appreciative of the discussion and that while there was no compensation, it was an honor to serve on the commission. Following the deliberation, the commission voted 5-0, one absence and one abstention, to approve the resolution as prepared by the chair. As noted above, the approval of the compensation for the commission is at the discretion of the city council. The approved planning commission resolution only had the effect of allowing the chair and up to 2 other commission members to present the resolution to the city council during the city council public comment period. The chair then presented the resolution to the city council, and council directed staff to bring the item to committee for further discussion. The item was then brought to the Finance and Governance Committee on March 11, 2025. Based on the 2-1 vote at the committee meeting, staff has drafted an ordinance amendment to remove the language "shall serve without compensation" from section 2-96 of the Oxnard City Code, and add one additional section to section 2-97, which would state planning commissioner shall receive compensation in the amount established by resolution of the city council. And then the last item is for city council to create a resolution to establish a stipend of $150 per meeting attended by the commissioners. As noted previously, the commission serves important functions prescribed by the state. These functions are critical for the growth of a city, as sound decision-making is important for the development of a city, particularly as planning, and more specifically, housing planning, has become a focus of state regulations. The stipend would encourage qualified people to become members of the Planning Commission, as well as increase retention of members, which helps with institutional and historical knowledge of projects. Also, if the stipend required attendance at meetings, then the stipend would also encourage attendance of those appointed to the commission. Although it rarely occurs, lack of attendance by commissioners can delay decisions on development projects, impacting developer timelines. Also, commissioner turnover requires additional training and funding, and additional staff time to bring new commissioners up to speed. Returning commissioners can also bring much needed experience and continuity, which is beneficial for new members as well as developers. There's also a survey of other agencies by the chair, including Kern, Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, and Ventura counties, which was then subsequently verified by city staff. As shown in the table, a majority of agencies surveyed in the region provide some sort of stipend. The agencies that provide a stipend generally provide a stipend on a per meeting basis, and the majority of those require attendance in order to receive the stipend. The per meeting stipend generally range from $10 to $350. In some cases, cities that provided a per meeting stipend also had a max stipend per month. As an alternative, a few agencies provide a flat monthly stipend, which range from $50 to $543, some of which required commissioner attendance, some did not. In the memo, which the commission chair provided to the planning commission, and during the committee meeting, the chair stated that Oxnard was one of 2 cities in the county that did not provide a stipend. However, to clarify, that applies only to those cities in the county which the chair received a response from. At the committee meeting, the chair provided a slide that indicated Ojai does not pay their commission. In addition, Ventura is not listed in the presentation, but the list of agencies subsequently verified by staff shows that the commissioners of Ventura are not paid. The chair also presented a slide to indicate that a $150 per meeting stipend to the Planning Commission was recommended as it was below the per capita amount, but there was no additional discussion or data provided on the rationale behind the use of that point. The slide presented by the chair, which is shown here on the slide, notes that currently 7 of the 38 cities surveyed pay $150 or more per meeting. The slide also noted that the per meeting amounts were calculated 50% of the per month rate for the cities that paid a monthly stipend, such as Simi or Thousand Oaks. The Finance and Governance Committee recommended 2-1 on March 11, 2025 to establish a $150 per meeting stipend for meetings attended. The Council Committee did not discuss reimbursements in detail and did not include reimbursement in their motion. At the committee meeting, Planning Commission Chair presented a PowerPoint which outlined many of the elements of the Planning Commission's resolution to establish a stipend. Committee deliberations ensued with Chair MacArthur stating his position that he supports the $150 per meeting stipend primarily as a tool to recruit young people that may be sacrificing potential earnings and giving long hours to prepare and participate in the meeting. Chair MacArthur also stated that he believes $150 on the low end and a starting point. Chair Rodriguez supported the $150 per meeting stipend, also drawing on the amount of time spent for this role. Committee Starr did not support pay for volunteer positions and expressed that the volunteer receives is that the member gets a bigger say in what happens in the city. Starr also responded to the point raised by the commission chair that the stipend will help retain members. Starr pointed out that historically members of the commission did not serve multiple terms and offered that the reason we may have less retention with the commission may be term limits or lack of advertisement for the role, not necessarily compensation. Lastly, Starr raised the concern that the president would be set for other CAGs to seek compensation. If the $150 per meeting stipend for the commission is ultimately approved by City Council, the funding for the stipend would come from the general fund. Based on the recommendations, the maximum cost would be approximately $25,200 per year, assuming a stipend of $150 per commissioner per meeting and a total of 24 meetings per year with all commissioners in attendance. However, as previously noted, there were a total of 16 meetings in 2023 and 14 meetings in 2024. And over that time period, there was only approximately an 80% attendance rate. Based on these two data points, with 7 commissioners, the stipend would have been approximately $13,440 and $11,760, respectively, with attendance required. These amounts, however, are for illustrative purposes only, as the exact cost could vary based on the number of meetings held. While application fees are collected for projects that are presented to Commission to pay for staffing and noticing costs. Fees do not include the associated Planning Commission stipends. Therefore, a budget appropriation of $26,250 is needed for the Planning Commission stipends, which also accounts for a potential special meeting if needed. Therefore, staff recommends that the City Council approve the first reading by title only and waive further reading of the proposed ordinance and adopt a resolution establishing $150 per meeting compensation for the members of the Planning Commission and approve a fiscal year 2025 to 26 budget appropriation from the general fund available balance in the amount of $26,250.